Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The world's biggest festival. It is so huge that the money it generates in just 1 year is more than what many countries earn in 10 long years. But why is Christmas even celebrated? Because the world's largest religion, Christianity, believes that Jesus Christ, known as Isa in Islam, was born on the 25th of December. But then a question arises. If this was the birthday of Isa, why don't Muslims celebrate it? Because the real story is far more complicated. 2,000 years ago, Isa, a prophet in Islam, was born miraculously in a small city of Palestine. The land was Jewish, but the rule belonged to the mighty Roman Empire. The emperor was the great Caesar Augustus.
Let the games begin!
So powerful that even a month of the year, August, was named after him. But with great power came great arrogance. Augustus began calling himself a god and ordered temples be built in his name. And history shows, whenever someone reaches such arrogance, God sends a prophet to break their pride, just like Musa. And during the reign of Augustus, Isa was born. As a child, Isa was different. Once, he went missing in the market. His mother, Miriam, searched everywhere. Finally, she found him in a Jewish temple, debating with scholars, asking questions no one had ever dared to ask. Isa grew up, and God gave him a unique miracle, the ability to heal the sick with a mere touch. People came from faraway places. Crowds grew. His fame spread. Wherever he went, thousands gathered to welcome him. He healed their illnesses. Hope spread. But then Isa began speaking openly. He exposed the corruption of Jewish scholars, how they took money from the poor, how they altered God's scripture for their own benefit. Common people loved him, but the scholars, they hated him. Their power and their income were threatened. They began plotting to kill him. But under Roman rule, it wasn't easy. Until one day Isa entered the capital, Jerusalem. People rushed out of the city, laying palm branches before him, a gesture reserved only for kings. Roman generals were stunned. Who is this man, being treated like royalty? The Jewish leaders already hated him. Now Romans feared him too. Both joined hands to end him. Isa shared his Last Supper with his disciples, and according to Islamic belief, God lifted him to the heavens. Christians believe he was crucified afterward. After Isa left the world, his followers tried to spread his message. The Jews rejected them, so they turned to the rest of the world. Christianity began spreading rapidly. Among these new followers was a man named St. Paul, the most influential figure in Christianity today. Before Paul, people saw Isa as a prophet of God. Paul introduced the idea that Jesus was the Son of God, and even God himself. And today, almost all Christians follow Paul's theology, even though Paul never met Jesus. As Christianity spread through Rome, it clashed with Rome's official religion, the worship of Jupiter. To gain acceptance, early Christians made changes. They changed the name Isa to a Roman form, which eventually became Jesus. Romans were white Europeans. Isa, being from Palestine, would have been brown-skinned. But early Christians painted Jesus as a white European to make Romans feel connected. One such painting was sold recently for $450 million. With these changes, Christianity exploded across Rome. Christians grew in number. The emperor felt threatened. He launched brutal persecution, a story even referenced in the Quran about the people of the cave, Ashab-e Kahf. Still, Christianity kept spreading, even reaching India. 300 years later, Christianity became so powerful that the Roman Emperor Constantine himself converted. When the emperor converted, Rome's religion officially became Christianity. Persecution reversed. Now followers of Jupiter suffered. Rome tried eliminating the old religion, but old traditions were hard to kill. So Rome blended the two religions. This is where Christmas begins. Romans already celebrated a major festival in late December in honor of their god Saturn. They worshipped a sacred symbol, the pine tree, the only tree that stayed green in harsh European winters. They decorated it every year. So Rome took this festival, merged it with Christianity, and declared, Jesus was born on the 25th of December. Christians were ordered to celebrate it. The old festival became Christmas. But Muslims reject this date. Even many Christian scholars admit the real birth date of Jesus is unknown. The Quran says Maryam sat under a date palm tree during childbirth. Fresh dates fell. Dates ripen only in summer. So his birth was in the heat of the summer, not winter. After Rome became Christian, God awakened the people of the cave. They asked, "Have we slept a day or half?" But outside, the world had completely changed. Christianity spread further through the Roman, British, and Spanish empires, becoming the world's biggest religion. Christmas grew into the world's biggest festival, generating over $1 trillion every year. It wasn't always this way. Long ago, Christmas was a simple church gathering, but as people lost interest, new elements were added: music, celebrations, alcohol, and above all, Santa Claus. Santa was originally St. Nicholas, a generous Christian scholar. 150 years ago, Santa first appeared wearing green or blue. Then Coca-Cola changed everything. In their advertisements, they dressed Santa in bright red and white, matching their brand. Today, Christmas is celebrated even in non-Christian nations like India and China. It generates over $1 trillion, more than 10 years of Eid celebrations combined. This is the story of Christmas, a festival born from faith, history, politics, and centuries of transformation. Subscribe